Hello, my name is Morgan Jones, and this is the Persuasive Speech. We should prevent ages 12 and under from phone access. Well, first, I want to ask you all a question. What age were you when you first received a cell phone? Well, when I was young and I was 12 years old, my parents allowed me to have a cell phone, but only because I understood that the main reason I had a cell phone was to contact my parents. And I felt like I was responsible enough to handle and keeping up with that cell phone. My parents also trusted that I was mature enough and responsible enough to have one, but mainly it was used to keep up with my location and my whereabouts. But before they granted me the phone that I so wished to have, my parents made sure that I knew the consequences and the dangers of receiving a cell phone before access. Ages 12 and under may not understand the dangers that are at stake when having a cell phone, and also their parents may be unaware of how much of an impact these cell phones can have on their children. This is mentally and physically, because having a cell phone at a very young age can cause addiction, sleep deprivation, exposure to cyberbullying, and negative things on social media. This can also cause impairing social skills, and this can also cause major distraction, especially in classrooms. But parents should wait until that child is of age before giving that child a phone, because having maturity and having responsibility are the characteristics that you need, that are a necessity to have to handle a phone. Knowing the do's and the don'ts on social media, and also, firstly, before anything else, having interaction face to face with people, developing and growing your social skills. However, cell phones also allow parents to limit their child's activity. And setting these limits will help monitor the child's activity, and also parents can also block different apps and different websites that may be interfering with their child's studies. According to New York Times, what's right age for a child to get a smartphone, parents can enable or disable, including the ability to restrict the Safari browser from gaining adult content and using cellular data, end quote. Apps are available for parents to view what their child is doing, whether it's the sites and the apps that they use every single day. It is also easier to track using these helpful devices and these apps. Nevertheless, it is up to the parents to determine whether that child is mature enough to receive the cell phone. But however, young children are still facing the many dangers and the drastic effects caused by cell phone usage. And some parents don't see sometimes phones as a necessity, but they also see it as a way to distract their child. Crazy, right? Or a way to entertain their child while they're still at work or they're busy with other things. While children rot mostly in their cell phones, 40% of US adults are enjoying their own peace, according to research.com, which affects the child drastically, because spending too much time on a phone can affect them very much, excuse me. Kids being exposed to cell phones early can affect child growth and development. Spending too much time on electronics can hinder the development of critical thinking skills, impulse control, and problem-solving skills. Children using cell phones unmonitored can access the internet with inappropriate content without parental knowledge, and this can very much cause trauma, and it could haunt that child in the future. And also, young children are being exposed to violence in today's social media, which causes an increase in child aggression. In a study, Common Sense Media polled 1,240 parents and children. 50% of those children admitted that they're addicted to their cell phones. 66% of their parents believe that their children use too much technology. 52% of those children agreed with their parents. Teen addiction can cause a variety of effects such as depression, anxiety, and thoughts of suicide. And addiction can also affect a child's relationship with family members or their best friends. It can also cause the lack of concentration they have in their classrooms. But however, while kids are, gaining and growing their independence between the ages 12 and 13, it is very important to honestly it's important to use your phones in moderation and not overly spend too much time on your phones. Parents should also not get caught up in today's society, because many parents allow their children to have phones at a very young age, and other parents can't allow that mindset to pressure them in giving their children phones at an early age. But perhaps waiting for that child to develop a sense of maturity is the first step in choosing whether that child should receive a cell phone. But regardless, children will continue to develop and grow, but yet exposing them too early can prevent that growth and brain development. Therefore, parents should set boundaries, those limits, those apps, to avoid that child from being engrossed and exposed in a screen all day, all the time. Because there isn't an exact date. There isn't an exact age. There's not an exact age on whether a parent should choose whether their child will receive a cell phone, but it's rather up to the parent or guardian to decide if that child is responsible enough or mature enough to receive a cell phone, to receive it, or to have that privilege of having a cell phone. Because if they aren't, they're going to be affected by it, and if they're not aware of the circumstances of having that cell phone, they're going to be affected by their cell phone drastically. So noticing how responsible that child is or how mature that child is, parents can go from there to see whether or not that their child can have a cell phone. Thank you.